Good morning or good evening, depends where you are. In this video again I'm going to talk about chess, boring stuff, but this is what I can do. So I'm glad that this year I started with the tournament victory in Los Angeles. The tournament name is Dreaming King Open, so I won 4 games and made 2 draws. And you can see the standings here. And I'm very happy that my student David Gasparian shared the second place with Grandmasters Andrei Baryshpolets, Kurt Khazarian, and international master Julian Colville. These are the photos from the tournament. This is me playing against FIDE master Derek Wu. Here you see Grandmasters Sammy Shoker and Andrei Baryshpolets. And in this photo, FIDE master Teemu Virtanen against national master David Gasparian. And now let's take a look at the games. So this one I played against the Grandmaster Sammy Shoker. He's also, I think, chess boxing champion. And he did capoeira, if I'm not mistaken, so a very interesting person. So here I was playing as black and here white to move. The best answer is knight d2 in order to play c4 and also to open up this diagonal for the bishop. Instead he played d4. The idea is to make pressure on c5. Let's say if I take c takes d4, then I'm losing the rook. I mean exchange. And here, yeah, first I play d4, knight d2, so bishop is closed on g2. And here I think he underestimated the move that I made, c takes d4. Right now I can sacrifice the exchange, because if bishop f8, then queen f8, e takes d4, knight d4, so I'm taking the pawn. For instance, if I sacrificed here, c takes d4, and then I play e4, then knight e1, or knight goes to h2 somewhere, and d4 pawn is defended by the queen. So e4, knight d2, c takes d4, take, and you see that here, after knight d4, bishop d4, white is material up. I mean, bishop and pawn against rook. However, as I mentioned, this bishop is closed, and I'm controlling this diagonal. And this gives me advantage. So in the game he played knight c7, rook c8, knight e6, f takes e6, rook c1, knight e5, and you see that now my knights are actively placed in the center. c4, trying to break through the center, h5. Then I brought the queen into the game, queen b6, knight f5, and solid center. But later in the game, we were both in time scrabble, and at some point he even outplayed me. But eventually we got rook knight versus rook endgame, and with the time pressure, of course, it's very difficult to defend for him, and I won the game. So now, next position that my student played, David Gasparian. And here you see that white has this strong passed pawns on c5 and d6. But this king here is not allowing this guys yet to promote to queen. Here, yeah, he had just a couple of seconds, so he couldn't find the best answer. Yeah, here I forgot, yeah, black played at g5, and then he answered king c4. He answered king c4, I think e5 happened in the game, and eventually it was ended in a draw. But here white has a very interesting way to win the game. So king a5, e5, king a6, e4, and it looks like now white is losing the game, because this guy is going to promote to queen, yeah? But we have this pawn sacrifice, d7, king d7, king b7, e3, c6 check, c7, e2. Eventually we have the equal material, but white is winning because of this pawn. So let's say queen c6 check, queen c5, and yeah, of course, yeah, white is better here, because outside passed pawn, and of course later we can cover from our king from the checks with our queen, so this position is lost. Next game I played against Derek Wu, FIDE Master Derek Wu, and I think he is underrated because for instance, I played against him in North American Open and we made a draw. Before that, I think he won a lot of international masters and made draws against current masters. So, and we were both leading the tournament. And this is the position here I was playing as white. You see that white is slightly better because two bishops. But at the same point, at the same time, yeah, my king is exposed on g1. So as I mentioned, yeah, it's just maybe slightly better, not more. Here the best answer is king h7, but unfortunately he missed this tactic. He played rook a3, and here, yeah, I have this sacrifice c5, bishop c5. And whenever you see that back rank is weak, you have to try to bring the pieces into the game. I mean, into the 7th and 8th ranks. So I played rook d7. I'm losing the bishop, of course, king g2, but suddenly queen is trapped on e7. So he has to sacrifice the queen, bishop d7. Here he played rook a3. Rook a2 was better, but position is still winning for white. I can play king g3, bishop b4. So why king g3? Because bishop e3 was the threat. King g3, bishop b4, queen b7, bishop e1. Of course, black is going to take this pawn, but after bishop c6, bishop d5, you see that this queen and bishop are doing great here, and position is lost. In the game, yeah, he played rook a3, bishop e8, this is the weakness. Rook a7, queen c7, so eventually I took on f7, and after queen c6, yeah, white is winning. And finally, the last game that National Master David Gasparian played. So you see that white is just 2 pawns down, but white is playing for a win. Why? Because you see that pieces are very actively placed, and white has this strong passed pawn on d6. So he played d7, of course. And here his opponent made a mistake. But actually it was very hard to find the best defense here. He played f4, queen, king f5, king d5, and of course now rook is coming to f8 check, king e4, and position is just lost. But the way that black can defend the position is very instructive. So yeah, we play king g5. As I mentioned, the activity is very important in the endgame, and especially the king activity. So queen, take, king f4, activating the king, king d5, h5, rook h8, and here only one move leads to a draw, and that is king e3. So why king e3, not, let's say, king f3 or king g3? Because, okay, let's say if king f3, then I can just take on e5, or even rook h5, maybe. Rook h5 is better, f4. And you see that, let's say after maybe rook e5 or king e5, white is winning. And king e5, king e3, yeah, maybe. Yeah, this one is. So rook e5 is winning. King g2, king e4, f3, rook g5 check. So why should we put king on e3? Because first of all, it's shouldering the king, and let's say rook h5, then we play f4, sacrificing the second pawn. And now if rook e5 check, we don't have to put our king in front of this pawn. Instead, we just go king d3. And let's say if rook f5, still we go back. Because like in the previous position that I showed you, if king is on f3 or f2, then it's very easy to bring king closer to this pawn, and position is just lost. So king d3, and now there's no way to win the game. Again, once again, you see that the king activity can save the game, and sometimes even you can sacrifice some pawns and win the game. So thank you for watching, and also don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos, and see you and good luck.